Good afternoon, everyone. It is great to be with you. My name is Scott Lurie with thehardmoneyco.com. We are going to get started here, so thank you for joining us. We are going to discuss rehab project planning. One of the most important parts of being successful in flipping houses is obviously the planning phase. We're going to give you all of the Q&A, all of the information related to the planning of your rehab. By show of hands, just to get an idea of who we have in the room today, how many of you guys are actively rehabbing houses? If you can just put up a thumbs up or a hand up, that'd be great. If you're not rehabbing houses but aspire to put up houses, raise your other hand or put up a hand up if you can. And if you've never done any real estate and you're brand new to real estate, let us know that as well. We will be moderating today's webinar. As we get into it, we are moderated today by Denver. Denver will be asking me any questions you should have to ask. Feel free to ask it at any time. Don't be shy. These webinars are really well received and they're really impactful when you are participating. So if you have a question, ask it. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to get back to you. But most likely I got your answer right here somewhere in upstairs, and we'll interact with you. So thanks for being here. So let's talk about the free webinar series. I started real estate in 2003. I didn't have a free webinar series. I only wish I had a free webinar series. The goal of this webinar series is to make real estate accessible to you, the real estate investor. We want to provide you with strategic overviews, and we want to get into the details, the minutia, the tactics on how to be successful in real estate. So some of the topics that we've already covered are these right here. If you're looking for these, you can pick these up on YouTube. They're available at the Hard Money Co's channel on YouTube. If you are discussing any of these are our today project as well as our future projects that we're going to be discussing. So please participate. If you have a topic that we haven't discussed that you think you or any of your peers might be interested in, we'd love to talk to you about that. Please drop that in the chat as well, and we will get back to you. A little bit about the Hard Money Co. We fund your rentals, repairs, deals, dreams, flips. We are a hard money lender. We close about 500 transactions a year, and we help real estate investors. We empower real estate investors. We're transparent. We understand urgency. We understand diligence, and we understand hustle. We are made up of all of that in our DNA here at the Hard Money Co. This is a free webinar series. There's nothing to sell you. I've got nothing to sell you at the end of this. But this is free for you, and we hope you find great value. For me, real estate really has changed my entire trajectory, my entire life. In 2003, like many, I started with zero. I did not have a single piece of real estate. I had no assets, was broke, I had no money, but all I had was one goal and 100% hustle. My one goal was to create generational wealth and cash flow. That was my goal. I wanted to build the largest real estate portfolio I could. I wanted to do it, and I did it with OPM or other people's money. And I wanted to obviously take this opportunity to share what I've learned and how I've learned how to be effective in real estate. I want to share it with you so you can go out and conquer the world. There's so much real estate out there to conquer that the nice part is, even if we all conquer the world with real estate, we're touching just such a small fraction of it. So, a little bit about me. For those of you who don't know me, I grew up in the middle-class family here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My parents were involved in a family business, and I lived that life, right? Arguing about money and ups and downs, peaks and valleys. But what I did was, when I was looking around at all of the people I would see, I always equated those that were wealthy with the people that were involved in real estate. And so I said, that's got to be me. And I took my path and I started in real estate in August of 2003, as I said, with zero real estate. So how many of you have zero real estate today? Put your hands up. How many people of you have under 20 rental units? Put your hands up. All right. How many people want to own $100 million in real estate? Put your hands up. All right. This is what you can do. If you give 110% of your energy and hustle, you can own $100 million of real estate relatively quickly. What's quickly? I don't know, call it 5 years. You can do it You don't have to have a college degree. You don't have to graduate from high school. You don't have to have any special backgrounds. You don't have to have any skills that you don't have today. You can acquire them. You can do this on your own. Anybody can do it. But it is not easy. So when I got started, I had no money. So I used OPM, other people's money, and I acquired 1,500 apartments over the next 15 years, all of which I've just disposed of in June of 2022. But I realized that there had to be a better way. There had to be a better way to get capital and funding. And so therefore, I created and founded the Hard Money Co. We are a real estate partner. How many of you people are involved in partnerships? Just as a show of hands, I've got a partner. How many people are on your own, sole proprietor? How many people hate their partners? How many people think they work harder than their partners? How many people's partners are lazy? And you're giving them 50% of your equity, right? I'm doing all this work and that person does nothing, right? I hear that every day. I get it, right? I get it. But the reason you do it is because it gives you some form of comfort, right? I'm gonna go partner with people because it gives me that comfort. The downside is you're giving away real money. I used OPM right here and I gave away almost $150 million. If I would have used a different lending source, a hard money lending source, I would have probably given away only $50 million. So I'm kicking myself today, 20 years later, telling you that I gave away so much money because I had partners and other things involved that kept me confident and comfortable, but maybe you could easily say I wouldn't have been there without them, and that's probably true. Let's dig in. So, importance of planning. This planning session is really focused on those that are doing two strategies, and I only think there are two strategies. One is the value add, buy and renovate, or the burst strategy, and then we're going to keep the asset as a rental property. How many people are doing that? How many people are looking to add value by creating the burst strategy, right? We all know the burst strategy, great acronym, burst strategy. Before BRRRR existed, we called it the value add strategy, but okay, same concept. Someone put a really cool little acronym to it. We love it. How many people are doing the fix and flip because I need money now? I've got bills to pay. I got stuff to do. I need money. All right. So you see there's about a 50-50 swing of who's doing what, right? All right. Both of those theories require planning, right? I'm going to plan my attack. I'm going to create my playbook. What I don't see happen enough is people don't spend enough time creating the plan. If you don't create the plan, you're not going to be successful. Think about the crazy statement that I always tell people. I just had the privilege of playing, I'm going to go on a tangent, sorry, but this is really important at the planning stage. I just had the privilege of playing golf with a Major League Baseball pitcher. I played with him last Tuesday. He was in town, he's on the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he was playing the Milwaukee Brewers. So I played golf with him, and here's what he told me. He pitches a combination in any game, in any one game, he can pitch up to 1 inning or 1 pitcher. He's a closer, okay? His job is to close out the game. When the coach calls him in, he's got a closing position to handle. He's the closer. The story's gonna get better, so don't fall asleep on me. But think about what I'm about to tell you. He told me that he is the first person at the stadium every single night, and he is preparing, stretching, and working out, getting prepared for what could be a single pitcher or a single pitch, 1 pitch. He might throw a pitch, it might go down, the guy might hit it to first base touches it, he's out, and it's done. That was his whole day for 5 hours of planning. He's spending 5 hours a day, and I said to him, man, you're spending a whole lot of time. And he said, Scott, I don't have a plan B. I'm not a contractor. I can't go play basketball. Baseball is my only career. If I'm not the best, if I'm not ready when coach calls me in and I go out there and I fail the team, guess what happens? I don't have a job. And if he doesn't have a job, he doesn't have money. If you don't plan for your real estate investment, if you're not planning to be successful, you don't have a job. You're going to fail. I'm sorry, you're going to. And you can tell me that you didn't have time, and I'm going to call bull on that. If this guy can get there 5 hours before to throw one pitch, you can invest that same 5 hours a day on your planning of your real estate path. Make sense? Anybody an MLB pitcher online today? We got any pitchers in here? All right, fair enough. So let's talk about the importance of planning. The most important rule of planning helps you do what? Avoid mistakes. Oh, I didn't think about it. No, you didn't plan for it. Think about your terminology. I didn't think about it, therefore I made a mistake. It means you didn't plan and the mistake was a surprise and you cost yourself money. What equals money? Anyone know? What equals money? What can I write in that box? Somebody put in the chat. What can I write in that box? What equals money? We got what? We got it. Right on the first one. Time equals money. Does everyone agree with that? Time equals money. Staying on track makes you more money. Let's go through all of the various scenarios. If you complete the rehab on time, on track, which is 2 months, what can you do in month 3? Rent the property. Put the property up for sale. If you do it in month 5, you have 3 months of delay. You have 3 months of lost rent. You have 3 months of additional carry costs. You have 3 months of additional taxes, 3 months of additional interest, 3 months of additional insurance, 3 months of pending problems that are for sure going to happen. Maybe you got to cut the grass, remove the snow. Time equals money. Stay on track. Planning helps you do that. There are time trackers, budgets. When we build 150, 200 units of apartments, we are planning to the week when we're finishing, when we're getting to our occupancy permit, right? So we start here at 0 and we are planning all the way here to occupancy. Because at occupancy, we make money. Oh, I forgot to ask everyone a silly question. I'm here because I only wanted to make money. Is anyone else here for charity? Is anyone else doing charity work, meaning the real estate is for the charity, they're giving away all their money? Or is everybody here to make money? Is that what everyone's primary mission is? Capitalism at its finest? We all want to make money? Okay, I forgot to mention that. Okay, so to do so, we also want to do this. Planning allows us to maximize our ROI. Everyone know what ROI is? Someone give it to me. Someone type it in there. All right, return on investment. Thank you. Who was that? Chelsea? Thank you, Chelsea. Absolutely correct. Return on investment. What is my return? The higher the return on investment, the better you did. All right. So avoid mistakes. Be thorough through the planning phase, right? Here we're looking at a picture, but what happened to get here? Okay, so let's talk about it. How many people are using, when you're walking through a property, walking through an opportunity, how many people are taking detailed notes, pictures, measuring the sides of the properties, the rooms, using all of the tools available to them today to determine what their budget is? How many people are doing that? I used to walk through houses when I started walking through hundreds of houses. I started walking through so many properties that I got so proficient at the planning that I would classify them in buckets, right? Bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3. 20, 40, 60. That was my budget. And I would put someone into the budget and I would say, this house is a 40 budget. And I'd be pretty darn close because I knew that 60-inch linear cabinets with a 60-inch countertop was going to cost me X amount of dollars at Home Depot, and if I had to put uppers in it, it's going to cost me X. My appliance package, I knew what that was. That was going into every single deal. I knew my appliance package cost was $8,900 or $5,400 if it was a rental, or if it was a rental, we could have gone down to $2,400. I knew all of that information. I knew how much linear feet of gutter I needed. I knew how much linear feet I needed of flooring. I knew all of the different information because I was putting that into my calculator, which was my brain as I was walking through the property. I knew that each picture window was costing this. Is it a double hung? All of that was going into what I was doing. The planning phase provided me the opportunity to avoid the mistake. Spend your time here because this is one of the biggest opportunities that you will see when you're walking through properties. Are you walking through your own property today and saying, what would it cost me to renovate it? You should. You start waking up in the middle of the night and you're like, huh, what did that just cost me? You're like, oh, you're in a dream. You don't need to go look through that property. Avoiding the mistakes. So let me ask you a question. How many people have done a property, didn't properly plan for it, and had a mistake? How much did that mistake cost you in your planning? Someone put in the numbers. 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. How much? What was the biggest mistake we have in the group today? Missing foundation, didn't budget for the roof, didn't budget for the chimney stack, didn't budget for mechanicals. What are we missing? 30K. 30K, a $30,000 mistake. What was the mistake? Foundation. Tell me what that mistake was for 30K. Foundation. $30,000. Okay. So the mistake was $30,000. What was preventable to happen to avoid the $30,000 mistake? Did you walk in the basement? Did you take a look at the foundation? Did you look in the cracks and crevices of the corners to see if water was infiltrating? Do you see stains for waters? Does something catch your attention? If you walk outside, do you see some cracks in the foundation? If the place was already closed up, look from the outside. But most of the time, there's a reason for it. And when we become cowboys or cowgirls, we lose $30,000. One of my theories is always, how hard will you work for $30,000 or $50,000? I always tell people, $50,000 is a huge number. How hard will people work for that number? The answer is hard. So avoid that mistake by planning and being competitive to make sure that you can plan for what might be the avoidance of the $30,000. I don't want anybody here to run into problems that are avoidable. You do that through planning. Staying on track. We talked about time is money. You're going to see this a lot. Timelines, budgets. We have a scope of work on our website. It's free. There's downloads and attachments that you can use if you want me to send you more of them. I've got many iterations of this. Okay? Scope of work is your planner. That's the planner that gets you to stay on track. You can't start without a scope. You can't start without a budget and timeline. If windows are 3 weeks out, don't put them installed in week 1. That's silly. Doesn't make sense. Be mindful and respectful of the process to stay on your timelines, and we have to make sure that they are realistic. Okay? The budget is also so important. If you budgeted for miscellaneous, does everyone have a miscellaneous budget in theirs? This covers the whoopses, the oopses, the I forgots, the mistakes. Make that number material. When we're building an apartment building, we sometimes have up to 6% of the budget as miscellaneous adjustments under what we call contingency. On a $20 million project, 6% is $1.2 million. We're running a material budget because when I go to my lender, when I go to our OPM, our syndicators, when I talk to my investors, I don't have the luxury of going back to them and saying, whoops, what does that do for me? My credibility's out the door. They probably won't invest with me again. I don't ever want to have that uncomfortable conversation. And as a result of that, we provide contingency that we can work within. Super important. when you're fixing and flipping a house, it's the same thing. I run the same process when we're looking at a house we're flipping or when we're building an apartment complex. So this to me is the result of planning. If you plan, the more you plan, right? The more you plan, the higher your ROI. Really simple. Anyone disagree? All right. The more you plan, the more ROI you can achieve. That, to me, is the exact statement of why we all need to invest the time in planning. Time is our commodity. Time is what, after you finish lunch or have dinner, or if you have kids, put them to bed, or if they're grown and they're out, whatever it is, you have time. You get to make the conscious decision what you do with your time. I'm going to go to the bar, I'm going to go to the nightclub, I'm going to go do something else, or I'm going to plan my real estate career. I'm going to plan my real estate future. Creating the plan helps you achieve a maximum ROI. I always want people to achieve the most they can achieve. It's so critical. Same amount of time, same amount of energy, same amount of risk, make more money. If you could show up every day and make $5,000, who wants to do that? Or if you could show up every day and make $10,000, are you in A or B? Are you in A camp, 5,000, or are you in B camp, 10,000? Hope everybody's writing in B. Same day, same time, same hours, same energy, maybe a little more energy in the planning phase, you make more money. You know that Steph Curry is probably one of the greatest shooters of all times, and you know what he still does every single day? Shows up to practice and shoots ridiculous amounts of shots. I think it's something like 1,000 shots a day. But you're so great, Mr. Curry. Why do you keep needing to do that? I'm not great enough should be the answer. You're the greatest real estate investor, John or Chelsea. Yeah, okay. I want to get better. I want to be the best. We have the best athletes. We know who the best athletes are. We know the best basketball players, the best football player. Patrick Mahomes still shows up to practice every day. Jordan Love just signed his largest contract ever, I think in the NFL. And believe it or not, he showed up to training camp. He does not know everything. He's there every day learning, and us as real estate investors need to have the same mindset. So, we talked about rehab planning. Rehabbing is a total pain in the butt. There's always a problem. The flooring's not right, this got chipped, contractor didn't show up, this didn't happen, this is delayed, right? And who's got all the problems? Contractor didn't show up, stole my money, stole my material, can't find him, ended up in jail. Sounds familiar to anybody? I've had all the stories. I've had them all. People sleeping in my houses that weren't supposed to, people not showing up, partying, drinking, doing drugs. It's where we as investors can make our opportunity by showing up on time, not allowing the inmates to run the asylum, and you handle your rehab. Are you a professional? Yes. Are you allowed to show up drinking on your job site when you go to work? No. You're not allowed to do that at my job site. If this doesn't work for you, thank you and have a great day. The quality of work, the requirement is so important under the rehab planning. So let's talk about it. What are we trying to do? Define goals. What can some of our goals be for rehabs? For rehab goals, or define goals for the rehab planning? I like to look at it as this. What's my exit strategy? Is there a difference between a rental versus a sale? Is there a difference? The answer is absolutely. Absolutely. So what is my defined goal? My goal is to rent this property. So I might use lesser quality appliances, but I'm not gonna give them floors that are uneven, that don't match, that are goofy, that are gonna give me what, a bad tenant? So what are our goals? Our goals are to achieve the renovation that makes sense for us to either resale or drive NOI. Define your goals. Resale, increase rental income, okay? Assess the condition. What's the condition of the property and what are estimates to get it completed? Understanding this is so important. Do we have anybody in here that have not done a rehab yet? Okay, so you're looking at houses. Maybe you're watching film. Maybe you're on our YouTube channel or you're on someone else's YouTube channel. You're trying to soak up all this information. That's great. The easiest thing for you to do on Sundays is walk through open houses. Go tour properties. Get the experience on someone else's dime. Walk through an estate home. See what a probate house looks like. Look what a hoarder house looks like. Has anyone ever been in a hoarder house? I've been in 50 of them, minimum. You walk in, you're like, how in the hell does somebody get through this room to get to this room to even go to the kitchen or go to the bathroom? And you see this like crazy, you learn a lot. You're like, most people are like, whoa. I'm like, that's 5 dumpsters. That's my equation right away. 5 dumpsters. 5 dumpsters, $500 a dumpster, $2,500 plus another $2,500 in labor. I got a clean house. Thank you. After I do that, assess the condition, this to me is one of the most important parts of the project. Are you taking the time to create a budget and a timeline? There are templates available for you online. You can use Google Sheets that provides a template and a budget. Understand all of your scope of work. Start the process. If you're not creating a budget and a timeline for your work, your rehab, ask yourself why. You can't be too busy. You can't not have enough time. You are choosing to allocate your time not properly to be successful. And then secure your financing. I can only speak for the people that are borrowers of ours, but securing the financing, the borrowers that are super successful provide us with a scope of work and a timeline that is perfect. It's a scope, it's detailed, it gets done, and then within that 3-month or 5-month window, they're finishing the rehab and it's for sale and the property's turned. Those people are doing 10 to 15 deals a year with us. Those people are earning, how much do you think those people are earning? Put a guess in there. 10 successful flips. How much do you think they're earning? Any guesses?
100K.
Yes. Who said that?
Monique and Aram, I believe is
Aram?
A-R-A-M.
Aram and Monique both said $500,000. All right.
And Ezekiel.
That's the nicest penmanship I've ever had. Okay. So, $500,000. How many people would love to earn $500,000? Put both your hands up, right? We both want to, everyone, who says no to this question? I can promise you that the difference between the successful investor that are borrowing money from us because I can only value their projects and are doing 10 to 15 deals a year that are making $500,000 are not smarter than you. Okay? I can promise you they're not smarter than you. I can also promise you that they're not better than you. They don't know more than you. What they're doing is spending way more time defining their goals. They are spending a lot of time here, right? Step 1. Step 2, they're assessing the condition. They know with exact precision how much time it's going to take them and how much work it's going to take them to get this done. They're getting estimates. They have contractors in their pockets. Their contractors that they're working with are working with them because they're paying them what? On time. They want to go do the next rehab for this group because they got paid and everyone's happy. They know all of the issues of the house. This one needs a foundation. This one needs drain tile. This one needs a roof. This one needs some chimney flashing. This one needs a kitchen remodel. Hold on. We're stumped. Are we still connected to it? Okay, just stay there. It might take a minute to. Are we still connected? Can everyone still hear me?
Yeah, everyone's still
Okay, I just want our presentation. Give me 1 second. All right, we were just getting going. One second. Anyone ever heard of these vibe boards?
redropped it.
That's okay. Let me just get back to where we're going. Thank you. Okay. Slide 16 is giving us an issue. I don't know. Okay, so assessing the condition. So what I was speaking of before is that the people that are doing the $500,000 are no different than you. They don't have better skill sets. They don't know how to rehab better than you. They spend way more time in the planning phases of the rehab. Planning is so critical. It allows the people to show up and be successful. Here's a question I have for you. How many people have ever worked in the restaurant business? Specifically as a waiter or a bartender? Do you know that people work the same shifts, same 8 hours a day, same 5 hours a day, and one bartender can make, or one server can make double what the other server makes? It's through the planning that they go through correctly in their minds to be successful. I'm going here, I've got the same 8 hours a day to be successful. I'm going to be successful. If someone makes $200 for that same shift and someone makes $100, whose ROI is higher? Obviously the person making the 200. What do you got for me? Redrop it again? All right, we're coming right back at you. Sorry for the technical difficulties. They are?
Yeah.
All right. We're coming at you right now. Sorry about that, guys. Are there any questions while we're loading this?
None so
Okay.
Okay, this one should.
All right. Here we go. This vibe board is
So we do have a couple questions actually.
Yep.
Do you always use licensed contractors?
Great question. Do I always use licensed contractors? I use licensed trades. I don't always use a licensed general contractor. This one only has 15 slides in it, though.
15.
That's what it looks like. So what I do is I always make sure that the permits are pulled for all the plumbing and the electrical and the HVAC system. Some municipalities also require that you pull permits for roofing, siding, work that can be done. So under those scenarios, I would tell you that I always encourage people not to look at how cheap you can make the budget, because that's how people think. That's how some people think, right? So people will say slum landlords are bad landlords because of, and the because of statement is because they don't want to spend money investing in their property. Test one, test one. Can everyone hear me? Sorry. No? Yes? Okay, great. All right. So, sorry about that. So assessing condition, which we discussed. What other questions were there as well? I can take them while we have it.
There's a bunch.
Let's fire them. Go ahead.
Process of going into unknown markets, like out of state, for example.
So out-of-state investing is a challenge. What I've done, so this is a great question. Who asked it? Who? Conan?
Yep.
Conan. So this is a great question. So part of my philosophy on building my real estate portfolio is that I take generation one residence inns throughout the country and I convert those to apartments. Okay? When I go to new markets, can they see the screen? Okay. Well, it says share. I just want to make sure it's sharing. Can everyone see the screen? Can someone just say yes, and then I'm going to go back to the statement? Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, so here's the question. When I go to out-of-state markets, you learn so much, right? So we're doing a deal right now in Lubbock, Texas, where we're taking a residence inn and converting it, and it's been a total disaster with the permitting of the fire and sprinkler system, right? That has become a total issue. So to me, you have to learn the market. When I went to Jackson, Mississippi, we bought a property in Jackson, Mississippi. It took us a lot longer because the permitting process took way too long. So part of going into other markets is the due diligence that you have to do is call other real estate investors in the market. Go to the local RIA events in the market. If you want to invest in Detroit or in Wisconsin, go to the markets. You want to invest in Jackson, Mississippi? Go there. Spend your week there. That's called vacation. I'm vacation planning. Learn the markets, learn how you be successful. Any other questions?
Yeah, quite a few.
Okay. We're going to take the questions as we go. I hope that doesn't interrupt anybody. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
So Ezekiel says, are you doing the contracting yourself?
So Ezekiel said, am I doing the contracting myself? The answer is no, I'm not. I used to general contract every single flip I did because I had the time and capacity. Now I've switched my model. I now buy from wholesalers or from MLS, people that are finding deals for me. So people are bird dogging for me, and then I'm hiring a general contractor to do the work because I don't have the time. So what I have to do is I have to buy deeper. I have to buy deeper by like $30,000 to cover all that additional expense. So before I used to be able to do it myself, I could hire the painters. I would go to Sherwin-Williams, pick up the 25 5-bucket pails that I'm renovating an 8-unit for and say, splash this on the walls and make it look great. I don't have the time to do that anymore. So now I'm hiring people to do it and it's costing me more money, so I have to buy better. So Tia asks, what's a safe percentage for your rehab budget for miscellaneous? I would always say 10%, okay? If you are new, then I would go to 15%, okay? Old, new. I don't mean old like old, but if you've done it already, so this was easier to write. 15%. Don't create paralysis over the evaluation of a deal so you never do a deal, right? I know people how many people have never done a deal because they're too scared, but they really want to do a deal, but they're so scared that they've never done a deal. I've been going to local RIA events for 20 years. The same people have been going to those RIA events learning everything. They know more than I know, and they've never done a deal. So if you've never done a deal, the only and the best way to learn is to do a deal. So take risk mitigators, take factors that are at play, be mindful, find maybe somebody that could offer you some consult or mentorship. Don't pay $5 million for that, please. and then get started. The only way you're gonna get started and be successful is by doing a deal. If your goal is to do a deal and you make $50,000 as a budget, that's what you're gonna make, and you make only $5,000, what have you just done? You went to college. That's it. What did you learn from this $45,000? What did you learn? Everything you'll ever need to know about your next rehab. We talk about planning. We talk about creating a budget. Create a budget. Make sure your budget is detailed and thorough, factoring in everything you could factor into the world. You can't factor in everything, but factor in everything, right? I don't want to hear that you got to factor in time and contingency. Factor in the material costs, factor in what it's going to cost you to rehab it, factor in how you're going to be successful in this rehab, factor in countertop. Don't factor in garbage, factor in good stuff, and then allocate that contingency, right? And that contingency is right here. Yes. So it's a great question. The answer is there isn't a good answer, right? Because if we get a budget from you, if you send us a scope of work that says miscellaneous $15,000, we're going to push you on that. I promise you. We're going to say $15,000 isn't miscellaneous. We don't know what that is. We need more information. Okay, so what you need to do is factor in. So what are some mitigating factors? How can you fix that? How can you change that budget? You can put money into categories that you might or might not do work on. And if it doesn't work, then you can say, I'm not doing this, but I'm going to do this. That's option one. You could also say pending contractor review for foundation, $10,000. Don't forget, you're paying for the money, but if you don't need it, you don't need it. So if you say, I'm going to maybe need a basement repair for $10,000, if you choose not to do it, you can never have to pull the money. So you can be mindful through the process of massaging that scope of work to make it work for you. You have to be a conductor. I'm going to consider a foundation repair. I'm going to consider a sump pump, crock pump process. I might have to do radon mitigation. I might need to replace the roof. I don't know. I might have to chimney flash. Take the might out of all those sentences, put them on your scope. Great question. All right, we're going to keep going through here as you work through answering any other questions or asking any other questions. Develop a timeline. This is the one thing that everybody fails at. I don't know how to do this. I don't understand how to create a timeline. My contractor said he'd be here on Tuesday and he showed up on Wednesday. There are really great resources out there to manage project management that cost you free to $20 a month. Would you invest $20 a month to make $50,000 on your rehab? I hope everybody says yes. And I know nobody's going to go buy the software today. So thank you for validating this. Plan for your future. Make the investment. There's apps on your phone that you can track the entire process, uploading pictures, managing the rehab, managing the construction cycle. But you probably don't want to spend the 20 bucks. But you also probably spent 20 bucks on Candy Crush yesterday because you needed the extra watermelon to go crush the candy. Think about it. Anyone play Candy Crush? Do we have anybody that's playing that? Anyone spending money on Candy Crush that doesn't have a project management timeline software? Someone come clean, please. Someone's got to come clean.
Got some laughter, but no.
Okay, well, you're laughing because it's true. So when you go and say, I'm going to spend that in-app purchase for $20, spend it on your project timeline software.
Maria asks, what are some of the names of those programs?
So there's tons of them. Microsoft has one. You can use Monday.com that has another one that project manages. You can create your own softwares. There's literally 50 of them out there. In the app, say in the app search project management or construction management. Google those, search for those in the App Store and you will find them. We've used anywhere from Monday.com. We use Procore, which is a very expensive construction management software that's very detailed, but you can use any of them. Monday.com is free to $10 a month. They have a project management thing inside of it. It's already set up for you. Yes, you're gonna have to put a little work into it. All right, yes?
So Conan has a two-parter.
Let's hear it, Conan. Great question so far.
He's asking, talking about team building. What was the mindset like creating your team with the first few deals?
Okay.
And what are the factors that you're considering when you're taking on partners?
So the question is, what is the team building that I used when I started the process to get to be successful? The first thing I did is I made investments. I bought a phone system. Granted, this was 20 years ago so I could field calls and manage calls. I hired an administrative assistant to help me with all of the tasks I was doing. I didn't have any money, and I had to make a payroll. Imagine that. So you have to plan and think through how you're going to be successful. Being successful in business, I promise you, is not easy. I never went from I'm absolutely broke and have no real estate assets to, hey, everybody, I own 1,500 apartments and I'm cash flowing $200,000 a month and everything's great. And I can tell you it was super easy. I made sacrifices. Shit happened. I wasn't always successful. I was up for more nights than I probably slept. But I got to where I wanted to go. Do you have the tenacity to do that? The second question is what was the second part?
Factors you're considering when you take on partners.
Factors I consider when taking partners. So today I take on partners through syndication. I meet my syndicating partners either from my network that exists or through our AdWords campaigns and Facebook and Instagram campaigns that we go out and solicit on. So I go and meet people online. Some people use Tinder. We use Instagram. We don't need the dating site. We want the money site. We want to find eligible people that have over $1 million that want to invest with us, and we talk to them and they make investment. So I want factors of people that understand, that have high net worth, that can be part of the deal. And you know what your obligation is to make sure you give them returns. So we talked a little bit about the rehab, securing financing. This is what we do at the Hard Money Co. As I told you, I don't want to get too detailed on us, as I don't want this to be an infomercial, because I'm not here to sell anything to anybody. There are a lot of sources out there to get financing. Financial options are certainly available through our company, but also find the best fit for your project. If you have a project you'd like us to consider, we're happy to go through that with you. Scope of work, we talked about it. When you submit a loan application, you submit your scope of work. If you want to know what it's like to practice, go look at our scope of work. It's on our website. It's free. It costs you nothing to go look at it. Go look at it right now. Provide detailed documents. The scope of work allows you to give you information. Then it gives you repair draws, and it shows us that you understand what you're doing. Tips to maximize returns. Who wants to make the most money? That's a simple statement. Tips to maximize returns. Make most money. Okay. I'm obviously not in the marketing department. So what are the tips to maximize return? So let's talk about it. We're going to focus on the kitchens and baths. We're going to provide modern renovations, and we're going to provide cost-effective finishes. So simple, yet so hard. Kitchens and bathrooms sell homes. That simple. Kitchens and baths sell homes. Does everyone get that? What's the question?
So on that, we have a contractor asking what best advice for a contractor that is starting their investment.
So the question is from a contractor, what's the best advice for a contractor who wants to start flipping houses and do it on their own? Because they're so tired of earning the $500,000 for the other guy, they want to start making some real money themselves. Did I paraphrase that better for you, sir or ma'am? I think so. The answer is, there's a reason that people all fit into various different categories in the world, in the ecosystem. I can tell you that accountants who are accountants are never going to be good property flippers. They don't understand. They're too nervous. They're scared to wake up in the morning. Contractors, you're very good at doing the work. So what you have to create is the very good at doing the business side of it, right? So maybe you are very good at doing the work, but you're not a great communicator. Maybe you're really good at doing the work, but you don't have enough money. Maybe you're really good at doing the work, but you don't know how to deal with the investors, the lenders. Maybe you're not really good at managing money. So you have to figure out on those spectrums, sir, tell me what you're bad at, right? You're bad at something, not in a negative bad, you're deficient, right? You can't be good at everything. I am not a good contractor. If you gave me a hammer and a nail and said put it in the wall, I will fail. You won't. You say go hang a TV, I'm gonna hang it, it's gonna fall down tomorrow or tonight on someone's head, break, and it's gonna be a terrible job. You, Mr. Contractor, are gonna do a great job hanging that. You're gonna put it into the studs, it's gonna be level, it's gonna look great. We all have different skill set. So you have to replace your deficiency with something. I'm not good at talking to the lenders, then maybe start reading books on how to do that. Or watch some of the YouTube channels that are out there. Or give us a call and talk to us. But create your deficiency. Does everyone know what they're bad at? The chat's not moving too fast. What is something you're bad at? Somebody put it in there. So I just want to hear it. I want to see it. What's someone bad at? I'm bad at anything that involves me, tools and a hammer, and me needing to do contracting work. And I can't paint either. I can't keep within the lines. I'm bad at anything related to work. What is someone else bad at?
Monique says planning. She's very impulsive.
Monique is a bad planner. She's an impulsive person, she said. If you know that and you need to plan for the rehab, have someone help you or use some tool that's out there that can help you solve your deficiency. Know what your deficiency is, Monique. Thank you. You know you're a bad planner.
Titus says he's bad on the business side, but his first project is with us and it's been smooth so far.
Titus said he's bad on the business side, but his first project, he's borrowed money from the Hard Money Code. Titus, thank you for being a customer, is going smoothly. Titus, maybe you're not really that bad on the business side. What makes you think you're bad on the business side? Did someone tell you that? Or do you feel that? Because if everything's going smoothly so far and you've already been there, maybe you're really good at the business side and you just don't know that. You know that Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's now the all-star of the MVP in place of the Milwaukee Bucks, was not a basketball player all his life? He didn't know to be a good basketball player. Somebody told him at a later stage in his life, hey, Giannis, go play basketball. You might be good at this sport. Huh? What is basketball? I play football. Soccer, American soccer. Yes, American soccer. And all of a sudden, he's our MVP in the National Basketball Association. The NBA, he's there. Titus, you might be the best business person you've ever known. You just didn't know. So I'm going to challenge everybody to figure out what their deficiencies are. Go tonight and write down, what am I deficient in? What am I deficient in? Know that answer. And then Google right after that, or go to YouTube, I need help with whatever your deficiency is. You'll be amazed. Tell me what that is tomorrow. All right, high impact areas, kitchens and baths, right? We've talked about this, right? Buyer appeal is to the kitchens and baths. People want to be able to cook, they want to entertain, that's what happens. Modern renovations. We see this little Wi-Fi, thermostat, these are great. Follow the current trends in contemporary design and technologies. Incorporate those into what you're doing. Keep up with the competitive advantage to stay with the market trends. And then create cost-effective finishes. Don't put down garbage. I've seen garbage. Don't spend money unnecessarily. If you put in gold, it doesn't matter. You're not getting the money out of it. All right, here's some cost-effective finishes versus high-end finishes, right? Cost-effective finishes, cost-ineffective finishes. Laminate, LVT, LVP, high-end hardwood floors. We don't see this anymore. This is a perfect example. Coming in with specialty paints and finishes, marble countertop versus quartz. Quartz all day long, guys. All right, so we're running out of time. I told you I'd be mindful of your time. I just wanted to share with you, obviously, that the Hard Money Co. will fund your rentals, repairs, deals, dreams, and flips. Titus, thanks for mentioning you're a customer. Thanks for being part of what we're doing. I want to briefly talk about our loan terms. We can close in 7 to 10 days. We close up to 65% of the after repaired value, 6-month term, and 50% interest only. If you get this done in 7 months, in 6 months, you're only paying 7.5%. Versus paying a partner 50% of your profits. Let's jump through our business. We're a high interest rate short-term loan. We do everything in-house. We underwrite in-house. We on-site originate. We can get your loan funded if you're interested in looking at a transaction. Here's our process. All of it's available for you at thehardmoneyco.com, but from application to initial review to underwriting, terms offer, process, game day, we're closing. Repair draws, we fund your repairs. If you do repairs, we will fund you 100% of your repairs, up to 65% of the ARV. We will put that money in your account within 24 hours. And then go sell or refinance. All right. Our easy application, if you want to scan that right there, feel free to scan the QR code. It'll take you to our application. Are there any other questions? Oh, and you can find me on social media at hardmoneyscott.com. Let me have one more question. Make it a good one. They're all good.
Okay, so here we go. So JC asked a little while ago, can you talk about the rehab/lender and paying a contractor via the draw system? What are ways to pay the contractor while waiting for the draw to be released?
Greatest question of the day. Okay? We didn't even know this was going to be the greatest question of the day. Who asked this?
JC.
Has everyone got 5 more minutes? I hope so. If you have to jump off, I understand. JC asked the question, which is part of the sauce, which is, how do I get a contractor to do work while I'm waiting for repairs, while I'm short on cash or don't have enough money to do the job? So first of all, my philosophy is I do not pay contractors before they do the work, period. I will provide them to my trusted contractors, ones that have been with me for 20 years. I will provide them with checks to buy materials, etc. But my situation might be different than yours. And if that's the case, JC, here's what you have to do. This is where the business acumen comes in. So let me explain a couple things that doesn't happen enough. If you're a borrower of ours, you can show or have your contractor call us and verify that we have a scope of work for a roof for $15,000. We can also tell that contractor that if he does the roof, we, with your permission, borrower, can pay the contractor that money directly. I finished the roof on Tuesday. Guess what happens? We're going to get pictures Tuesday afternoon. Guess what we're going to happen on Wednesday? We're going to get your contractor that money. So part of the art, JC, is you have to go through, build up the network that's going to work with you. Don't promise them the earth and the moon and the stars and the sun. Promise them that you're going to be a great customer and you promise to pay them promptly. And here's how the process works. I have to submit a scope of work, a repair draw. Here's my scope of work. Once it's done, I will get you the funds. I'll even ask the lender to pay you directly, which we're happy to do. And that builds your trust and confidence in him or her. If you have any questions about that, our repair draw team's happy to help you. We're happy to help you through that process.
So Monique's been really engaged and she has a question.
Let's go, Monique.
She's asking, do you have to be as specific as to include brand, quantity, size of materials for each repair?
The answer is no. So the question is, do you have to include brand, quantity, size for each repair? And I don't know if that's on the scope of work side or the repair draw side. On the scope of work side, the answer is no. We know that if you have a 1,000 square foot house, putting a roof on it's not $35,000, it's probably $11,000. Now, here's what you can do, right? Here's what people do. Here's how the world degrades, the return on investment goes down. If you take that roof, and let's say you say it's $12,000 in your scope of work, then you get a contractor who comes knocking on your door. Hey, Monique, I want to talk to you about this repair. I can do your roof, And instead of me giving you a 30-year shingle, I could give you a 15-year shingle. So that's the warranty or the quality. And I can do that, and I can do that for 10 grand. How many people say yes to that? Everybody, and they're making a mistake. You could save me 2 grand, and I'm not gonna own the house in 3 months. I don't need an extra 15 years. The problem is when you go to sell the house, wouldn't it be nice to tell the party that you have a 30-year warranty on the shingles versus a 15? Be customary and traditional? Yes. So my point is, once you get us this number, we're going to work with it to make sure it passes the litmus test, and then we're going to ask you to do the job. Most of our successful investors are doing the job timely and efficiently. You should do the same. Monique, thanks for your participation today. It's great chatting with you. Okay, I have thoroughly used up 64 minutes of your day. I hope that it was part of your planning where you have another 4 hours of planning today on your real estate journey to how to be successful in real estate. I can promise you that the first 5 years of real estate were hell. The next 5 years were hell. The next 10 years have been really, really rewarding. I've worked so hard to do that and to feel the rewards and the benefits of those 10 years. I've made my mistakes. I still make mistakes today. I learn from them every day. I still am evaluating how to be successful. I look at our borrowers that are failing and they have one person to blame, it's themselves, yet they call and blame us or someone else for their failures of all of the different nuances. And I always am very mindful to be respectful, and I know that those people never will be successful. And then I look at our other borrowers, the other 95% of them, who are out there kicking ass and taking numbers and doing incredibly well. And I'm very, very happy when somebody calls me and says, hey, Scott, you won't believe it. I made $98,000 on that rehab. Flip, gone. And they send me the pictures. I'm like, whoa. These pictures are amazing. You did a great job. Congratulations. Same people. They both got blood and hearts, minds. They're just doing different stuff. So plan, think through it. Be a communicator. If you have a problem, talk about it. Let us help you be successful, or let someone else that you work with in your network help you be successful. Any final questions or comments?
Just a lot of thank yous and appreciate it.
Okay, so thank you, and I appreciate you. This is always my most rewarding time of our day. We continue to put on these webinars. They're free. Please tell your friends and family about them. This is an opportunity to better someone else's careers, lives, choices, decisions, pockets. Money doesn't make the life better. It makes it a little easier. That's all it does. And so for that, I just want to remind you, thank you for being here today. I'm grateful for your time. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me or anyone on our team. We really enjoy helping investors be successful. It's one of my passions. I hope you can feel my passion through our presentation. And it's great to be with you. I hope to see you on social media, or I hope to see you closing a loan and calling me and telling me you got 98 G's in your pocket. Once again, my name is Scott Lurie with the Hard Money Co. And thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day.